So with Rise of Iron out now for about a week or so, and with Trials of Osiris around the corner, if you're anything like me, you'll be brushing off the Siva mites from the raid and be refocusing your efforts on getting back into the swing of things in Crucible. Except there's one small problem. You really need to get good if you want to go flawless. And what's a Guardian to do? Lord Shaxx has stopped accepting bribes now that he's got his fix from recording intense Crucible lines, and Bungie would probably just say that your shittiness is the way the game was meant to be played. No. The alternative, the only alternative, is to physically, mentally, legitimately get good. And how? Well, let's start with the basics. What are you doing wrong? Let me help you figure that out, and then maybe, just maybe, you'll be well and truly on your way to get good. Hi, I'm Ascendant Nomad, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Crucible Doctor. In this first episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to review your own gameplay, so you can really own in on the certain details of your game that are bringing you down, and just generally figuring out what's wrong with your game and how you can go about improving your game. The first step is actually to play some games and then record them in their entirety. Now there's a couple of ways you can do that. The first one, and the one I recommend because it doesn't cost anything, is to record your gameplay through the console itself. And I found some links that will explain how to do that in more detail in the description below, so do check that out. The other way that I recommend that you go out and record your gameplay is to invest in a capture card and get something like an Elgato. That way you'll have all your recordings of all your games on your hard drive indefinitely, ready to be viewed whenever you want. Plus you'll have extremely high quality footage, which then you can edit into a really bad video like this one. Once you have recorded all your clips and you have them available to view, wait a little while before you actually go ahead and review them. For me, whenever I do any kind of self-evaluation, it's good not to be distracted by any kind of emotions or any events that may or may not have happened recently. Such as, that negative KD that you just got because that one guy with a blink shotgun matador combo sneaking up behind you in Infernal Rumble and shotgunning you. Oh my god, this kid is such a mother... You don't need to watch all of them in a row. Like, if you record 20, you don't need to do that because that would take freaking forever. No, you can get away with just watching 3 to 5, I think. Because that should suffice for the next step, which is to take notes on each video and then compare the notes that you've made for each individual video. Why are we taking notes exactly? Well, this is where the analysis comes in. You're going to be taking notes on some very, very specific things. You can choose what you want to take notes on, but if you're watching this video, chances are you probably don't know where to begin. For me, the best place to start with any kind of note-taking and any gameplay analysis is how you died. Look at your deaths and look at every time you died in each one of those matches and take as many notes as you can about that death. Were you in an open area? Were there teammates around you? Were there no teammates around you? What were you using? What was the map like? What was the points on the scoreboard? All these different details, all of them matter. Let me show you some examples of my gameplay and certain deaths that I experienced out in the field. So here we are at the first death. Let me just play the clip before we actually do any analysis on it. There really wasn't much to that encounter, it was just this pure one-on-one. He had a Hopscotch Pilgrim and I had an auto rifle. Clearly it came down to range and time to kill. You can see because of the stagger from his bullets, I was missing a few of my shots. I did do some decent damage to him, but it clearly wasn't enough to deter his shots hitting me. Alright, moving on to a new death. So I was doing okay until I started strafing in towards the doorway, and clearly there was a couple of people out there and they all team shot me. If I had held my position and focus fired on the guy on the pillar, I guess, I probably would have been fine and I may have gotten the kill because I caught him by surprise. He didn't start shooting at me until he was less than half health, which means I could have killed him. Dying in an entranceway, this is a very amateur thing to do and generally did not play that well at all. So this is the last death I want to highlight. There are times when you should push and get to the kill, and there are other times when you shouldn't. Let's watch.
Fighting as one is the...
Now, it was a fairly nice kill, in all things considered, throwing knife headshot, those are always really nice kills. But let's go back to the very start of this clip. I had just killed this guy. We were at 4830 to 4495, and that was my basis for continuing on and pushing in. If I just pull forward a little bit, look at the bottom left, there's been another kill. There's 2 fusion rifle kills in a row, which means they were only 1 kill away from winning the game. When I pushed in, I start going into their territory and I start making things risky. As you can see the radar, there are 2 people around me. One inside by the doorway next to my teammates' orbs, and one straight in front of me. And I really should have backed away and started thinking about playing this a little bit smarter. I didn't realize the scorecard, I didn't realize my teammates are down. It's very important to keep track of what's going on in the game. I feinted as if I was going into cover, then came back out, surprised him with the throwing knife. The throwing knife definitely caught him off guard because he didn't fire straight away, but he managed to get a shot off, but it was enough to kill me because I was absolute. I had 0 health at this point. Just look at that health bar. He fired a little late, but like I said, that was enough. I died, and that was enough to lose the game. So yeah, that's just a couple of examples of how you can analyze your gameplay. So keep doing this for every single death in every single video. And you may start to notice, is there a pattern to why I'm dying? Are my shots missing? Am I in the wrong position when I get killed? For example, am I far away from my teammates? From your notes, once you see a pattern developing of just how you died, a certain critique should just come from the notes. And this critique is literally quite simply common sense. Are you missing your shots? Simple. You need to improve your gun skill. Are you getting sniped in the middle of a sniper lane? Simple. You need to avoid those sniper lanes. Are you getting flanked by 2 or 3 enemies when your teammates aren't near? You need to work on your map awareness, your positioning, and generally just keep an eye on your radar. There's a lot of different solutions to all kinds of patterns that you may or may not encounter. And it would literally take me a 30-minute video to list them all. So instead of doing that, I'm going to give you one little thing that you can take away to think for yourself and sort of formulate your own solution from your own patterns that you come across. And that little theme is whatever you are doing to get yourself in a position where you get killed, or if you're doing a certain action that gets you killed, try and develop a way to make sure you don't get killed because of that action. For example, in my last 10 matches where I was playing Supremacy, I kept getting killed whenever I went for a crest that was in a really bad position. The solution to that was really simple. Don't go for the crest that's going to get you killed. And then my game improved pretty much instantaneously. Now, the solutions for a lot of these problems may seem too good to be true because they're basically common sense. The difference is, are you going to remember this in the middle of a game, in the middle of a firefight? Because for a lot of people, especially the people that I Sherpa over at Crucible Sherpa, link in the description below, that's their biggest stumbling block. They can't seem to think about what they're doing. They know the solutions, they assessed it for themselves, but that's the real problem, is remembering that in the middle of the game. So don't kick yourself for thinking the solution is simple. Don't overthinking. The solution is often very simple. The trick is putting it into practice. Again, you do not need to watch all of the videos you recorded. But that said, just like with any kind of study that's done out in the world, the greater the sample size, the better your observations will be. So I encourage you, if you can, watch every single game and make notes on every single game that you do, because you'll just find yourself pinpointing your weaknesses better and therefore creating solutions for yourself that will improve your game tenfold. And that concludes the first episode of Crucible Doctor. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Do check out some of the other videos I have in my channel. And yes, this will be a regular series. I aim to upload at least once a week. So be sure to subscribe so you can know when it's up and when it's ready for you to enjoy. Once again, I'm Ascendant Nomad. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.